Because here's how it's going to look like if that part of you that wants to be protected, right, is not, it doesn't feel, safe, is when it is being felt, the nervous system, something in the nervous system, there's been an imprint in the nervous system. Let the nervous system know this is not safe, right? And when you're being heard, right, it's like there is a old programming that was given to you by someone else, allowing and telling you that your instinctual nature, your intuition, is actually not to be trusted. And it's not always necessarily intentional by the other person, but it's sort of like, let's say when you were younger, your grandmother wanted you to eat something and you knew in your body you were full, but she was like, no, but you're going to be strong, you're going to be healthy, eat this food. And then you kind of go against your own instinct, against your own, your own kind of intuition, or your own kind of feeling, that you allow the voice of the person who's taking care of you to take charge. So there's this the being heard. The other thing about it is it also sounds very reasonable. So here's it: when when that protector is coming online and it is trying to protect you, is going to have all of these very reasonable, intellectual. So I had a friend of mine who is about to go on a soul journey, and he was talking about, like, well, but the flight's 4 hours, and when we get there, we're gonna have to figure out like certain things, and I'm not really sure about the people. So all very reasonable, right? But I know, and he knows, that this is actually something that they've been wanting to do for a long time. It is sort of like this soul journey, this retreat that is really calling to them. And guess what? Why are we protecting? Why does a protector come on? It's because, like, well, I don't know that. I don't know the people. I don't know the place. I don't know the experience. I'm probably going to be moved out of my comfort zone. I'm going to, be triggered, right? So the protector will sound so reasonable and convincing, like, yeah, very valid reasons. Flight's too long, I can't figure out certain, like, logistics, all this stuff. But if we were to discern between the soul's impulse, right? Because it's usually that feeling. The impulse is like, oh my God, there's something, two things, exciting and scary about it at the same time. And we misdiagnose the fear as something like, oh, we should listen to that fear because it's trying to stop us from going where we want to go. And this is how you can discern. When you're moving towards what you want to go, where you want to go, it's this place in your imagination that is not existing in this reality. It is outside of your comfort zone, and yet you get really excited about it. And okay, so instead of just also being very impulsive, it is something that you've always known. So if it's something reoccurring, an intuition, a remembering that you've always known to be true, that something in your heart that you've always wanted to explore, then you know it's the soul. If it is something like an impulsive, spontaneous thing, which is not necessary, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, if it is something that is more of a fear of missing out type of deal, it feels very on the whim, but it's not necessarily, if you look back, something that you've always known, and it kind of reoccurs. It's a reoccurring theme, right? So when the protector shows up in a place of needing to be heard, here's what I want you to look out for. I want you to look out for that voice of reason that starts to try and solve a problem that is not actually really an obstacle, right? So for my buddy, being on a 4-hour flight, um, renting a car, finding the place, all that, that's not an actual real obstacle. It's a challenge, right? It's maybe uncomfortable. I think the retreat is like sometime outdoors. It's very kind of like naturey, right? But it's not necessarily an actual obstacle. And so the protector will go through all of these kind of trying to solve all of these problems that seem to be so real.